If you want to have more freelance writing clients, you need to know about this tool called hunter.io. This is going to help you find email addresses to send your LOIs to business clients and get those things out the door so you have more potential clients to choose from. So you get to be ultra choosy about rates, work that you're doing, projects, all the good stuff. I'm Mandy Ellis, and I'm a six-figure freelance writer who helps other freelance writers book their dream clients, hit five-figure months, and do all of this without the overwhelm, stress, and burnout. I'm going to walk you through this tool called hunter.io. You can sign up for free. So let's start with the free plan. You can see that I'm on the free plan. If you go to your dashboard, it'll tell you all the stuff that you've been searching and the companies and maybe some trends and information. Discover is some other stuff that you can look at. But where we're going to really spend a lot of our time is Finder. Finder is where we can search for companies by their URL, or we can look for someone by name. Hunter has done a lot of improvements over the years, so they'll tell you all these little things that you can, oh, do this next and try this thing. So I like to use the find email by company, but you can do names. So let's say I already tried Zillow. So we're using Zillow as an example, but you can just find the URL of the company. So you already made your list in your LOI spreadsheet of all your potential clients. Now you need to send some LOIs via email. So you put in the URL of the company and boom, it shows you all of the potential options for what their email address could be. Now, what we're doing here is in conjunction with what we would do on LinkedIn. We would go on LinkedIn and find the person's name and their title. Then we can go in here and either we can find this person, right? We can find, let's say we were looking at Lauren and we're like, okay, that's the person. And we can send her the message, or we can find just the convention, right? This is the convention. So it's first name, last initial at Zillow.com. So I'm looking for most of the time the convention. I'm not really worried about finding the exact person because the more you click in here where it says click to copy, the more you lose in credits on hunter.io. So it's better if you just get this convention and go type it in someplace rather than click to copy, because then you lose more points and you get a lot less for your free plan. So you're going on here because you either already have the URL of the company or you have the person's name and their job title, and you're looking for how do I kind of put their name into the convention? Is the convention like this one, first name, last letter of their last name at Zillow.com? Is it first name dot last name at company.com? Whatever. We're looking for that. We can also, like I said, find it by name. So like if I was going to go and find, Matthew Harrington, I could go do that in here. I can say this and they're at Zillow, and you can pop it up here and it'll find it. Now, the accuracy part is kind of helpful, but I don't really, that's not a huge indicator of whether, it's great or not. Yes, they're giving you this percentage. Yes, it usually works, but sometimes you're going to have to try a few conventions. Over time, hunter.io has gotten much better at predicting the accuracy of these email addresses. And of course, the example that I'm using is a pretty big company, so it should be pretty accurate. But most of the time, you're just looking for some general conventions. Sometimes there'll be different types of conventions. These are all the same convention, but there'll be different kinds of conventions of emails at the same company. So some people will have first name at company.com. Some people will have last name at company.com as their email. Some people have first initial dot last name at company.com. We are trying to suss out how many different conventions do we might need to try in here with hunter.io. So they have all these other things too. You can put, if you go into Hunter and see all of the paid plans, you can make leads lists. So if you want to make lists of your potential clients within Hunter, you can do that. I still like the old school Excel or, Google spreadsheet where we're putting things together. But it's still pretty affordable if you're paying monthly or yearly. You're gonna end up with a bunch of credits. But like I said, you can use Hunter for free. You can have 25 searches or 50 verifications if you're doing it monthly. And then you can get 500 if you go to the paid plan. It used to be that you could do it up to 100. So it gave you 100 searches a month, which was great. But this has been one of the best tools to finding the right email addresses to send your LOIs. I love it. You can use it quite extensively for free. And I think for the price you're paying per month, it's still a pretty good value, especially if you're someone who does not want to pay for LinkedIn Premium yet, or you can't afford it. This is more affordable than paying for LinkedIn Premium or Sales Navigator or those kinds of tools, because Sales Navigator is about double. It's about $100 a month. So this is a good way to find the email addresses and move along. You can also use a tool called Apollo.io, which operates very similarly to Hunter, but it's kind of like your companion piece. So let's say you run out of searches on Hunter, you can use Apollo. And as long as you have your own email address that's not a Gmail address or like a Yahoo. So let's say you have like my email address that's mandy@mandyellis.com. It'll give you 100 credits a month for free. So now we basically have 125 credits to send our 50 to 75 LOIs a month. It's really great for just finding those emails to send your LOIs out. It can sometimes work for publications too. It depends. But I think for me, this is really a great tool, along with the companion of Apollo. I think that's also preference. Some people like the way Apollo works more so than Hunter.io, but these two tools are really great for finding email addresses. That's what we're looking for, is the convention. Like, what does the email address look like? And then how do we put someone's name in there? And we can combine that with either looking at their website to find the right person, or using something like LinkedIn or LinkedIn Premium or LinkedIn Sales Navigator to find the right person to then find their email address. So I hope that you're understanding so far that this is like part of your process, right? We need to make sure that when we're sending these, we know that we're sending these via email, because the person that we're looking at isn't very active on LinkedIn. That's why we're looking for email addresses. We have another video that's coming up that I'm going to take you through LinkedIn Premium. But for both platforms, if you're kind of like, well, once I find this person's email address and I send the LOI and they respond, what should I ask them? Like, how do I move that conversation forward? If you grab my free seasoned veteran cheat sheet at mandyellis.com/cheat sheet, it will give you a bunch of questions that you can ask on that initial client call, and it will give you a bunch of checklist things that you should do for your marketing. So when you're going through Hunter.io or when you're going through Apollo, you have a checklist of what you should do every single month. And then you have another checklist in there that is what you should do when you onboard your client. So not only do you have like, how do I get my marketing done? How do I incorporate that with these tools? What questions do I ask on my client calls? You also have, how do I actually onboard them? What are the steps? So that's mandyellis.com/cheat sheet. Both of these you can use for free. Both of them are really helpful. I think that I've been using this tool for a really long time, maybe 8 years or so. It's been quite a while. And or maybe it's 7 or 8. It doesn't matter. I've been using this tool for a while. Apollo.io is relatively new, but there's so much here in Hunter.io that you can incorporate that makes it a lot easier for you to find the right person to reach out to, organize yourself, make sure you have everything in the right place, and you can use a bunch of different ways to find people for free to send those LOIs. We want to make sure we're being consistent about sending those LOIs. We're gathering email addresses because you've already checked that the person on LinkedIn isn't very active. If someone's not active on LinkedIn, we're going to send an LOI via email versus a LinkedIn message. So I hope that this has been helpful. I hope you'll tune into more of our tools. If you've used this tool before, or you've used Apollo.io, let me know in the comments, what was your experience? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? Are there other tools that you like to use to find email addresses that are free or paid? Are there other places where you like to find potential clients' information to send LOIs? Let me know in the comments. We're going to go over a bunch of other of my favorite tools, but I hope that this has been helpful for you to move forward, and I will see you on the next one.